Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 117. No, it's 217. How did I lose like 100 episodes? Jesus, lost 100 episodes. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, also known as Corey, alongside the one and only, for the last time this decade.
Yep.
For us, for people listening, they actually already. Happy New Year! Yay! Sweet money! The world didn't end. It's all good. Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how you doing?
I'm doing good, you know.
Probably don't take the sip of coffee.
Yeah, I realized that as I was taking it, I was like, oh, that's just a bad call. It's kind of a gamble with you sometimes, because sometimes you do the quick introductions and sometimes you do like the long, I'm gonna mess with you a bit introductions.
I'm gonna keep you on your toes, mate.
I understand. And I learned a lesson. Don't take a sip of the coffee anymore.
Don't take a sip of the coffee. Crash, this is it. This is where we decide my Xbox and me's, our top 10 list, and my Xbox and me's top 10 list. Yep. Before we get into that, remember this is my Xbox and me, our weekly Xbox podcast. Probably couldn't tell from last week's episode because we just sort of talked about everything. But here on youtube.com/my Xbox and me, where you're getting this episode, and on podcast services, SoundCloud, not there. Everything but SoundCloud.
I like that.
But SoundCloud.
I like that. Did you mess up Spotify and fix it, or was that just you're going with a bit?
What would you like it to be, Crash?
I would like it to be the bit.
Do you think I'm that professional?
No.
That I am that good at my job that I accidentally messed up but turn it into something? Or do you think that, am I that good at my job? I made a mistake, but I'll turn it into a positive smack bang? Or was I planning into it? What do you think?
If I'm being honest, both those are very good signs, right?
I'll be honest with you. I totally messed up and just like turn it into something there. So,
you see the mess up. I wasn't even thinking the mess up was a good thing until you explained it right there. I was like, oh yeah,
it is a good thing. Let's turn that in anyway. But yeah, Spotify, Podbean, all those places, iTunes. You can get it everywhere apart from Spotify, apart from SoundCloud. Jesus, now I've messed it all up. I've taken all my good work away. No. Crash, I'm not even going to bother with topic of the show or what's in our box or email. I mean, we might get to emails if the show's too quick, but I think we just start off. This is how we're going to do it. 10 games. No, let's start off like this. Let's start off with all the games that you beat this year. And we can go.
I'll be honest, I didn't come prepared for that conversation.
You don't remember the games you beat? I'll say games. I'll say all the games I have beat, and then you can tell. I know a few that you've beat as well, anyway. So these are all 2019 games, and then I'm gonna give you some of the other games that I've played that I didn't beat, and the reasons why I didn't beat them as well. So Resident Evil 2.
Yep, you did beat that,
and
I beat that as well. Yes, that is correct.
Devil May Cry 5.
Yes, correct.
We both beat that.
Yep.
The Division 2.
You beat that.
Did you not beat it?
Nope.
Why? What was your reason in the end of not being it? Because are you sure?
Yeah, it just wasn't fun.
Interesting. Like, I don't get that. You're not a Division guy though.
Nope.
You're not a Division guy.
I tricked myself again into Division. I tricked myself again.
You did, and even I couldn't pull you through. Like you were just
nah,
I'm not.
Like Borderlands, like I enjoyed it enough where you were like, come on, let's, you had to pull me a little bit, but I was like, okay, fine, I'll come.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll come along for this journey. Division 2, you weren't having none of it. You weren't having none of it. So that's 3 for you. Oh no, 2 for you. Sorry. A Plague Tale.
I didn't play.
You didn't play it, did you?
No.
Damn shame.
That's one of my That's if I had a list of games I regret not playing this year, that would definitely make it for sure.
Fair enough. Apex Legends, got a win.
Yeah.
Yes. Anthem.
Yeah.
Yep. The Walking Dead, the final season.
No.
Did you
never
care about Walking Dead?
Any of them? Dead.
Okay, yeah. Definitely don't start with this one. Far Cry New Dawn.
Nope.
Nope, not for you. Crackdown 3.
I installed it. I was going to play it.
You didn't play it at all?
No.
Oh, interesting. I thought you at least played it.
No.
Ah.
I haven't since that game was announced.
I'd be interested to know what you think, honestly.
I have installed. I could play it next week's podcast.
That's interesting. I'd love to know what you think of the game. You'll know within about half an hour what the game is, if I'm being totally honest with you.
Okay.
So, interesting. Rage 2.
Nope.
It's on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass.
It's not Game Pass now?
Yep, on Game Pass.
Oh.
Borderlands 3.
Yes.
I dragged you.
Played through it. Yep.
Go on.
You kind of dragged me.
You weren't going to finish
I got to like the end, and then you pulled me over past the finish line.
I think I had about 5 missions. But I was higher level as well, which helped. I was a much higher level, which definitely helped. I don't know what's going on with Crush, but he'll be okay. Don't worry about him. Either he's writing in chat because he can't hear me, or something has happened. Who knows?
I absolutely could not hear you.
Okay, that's fine. You're all good.
Okay.
I was still talking. You're good. Borderlands 3, yeah, I feel like I dragged you through that. We'll go into more depth of all these games anyway when we start ranking them on our list and stuff, but I just want to go through what I've beat. Gears of War 5.
Yes, I beat.
You beat Gears of War 5.
Yep.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yes. No?
No, Crash.
Oh.
No, Crash.
No, I didn't.
No,
I was thinking, because I saw the ending, because I watched you.
You watched me finish that game.
Confused. Yes, I watched you finish that game.
NBA 2K Story Mode. I've got FIFA 20 on here, which doesn't really count. After Party, which you started, but never finished. Call of Duty.
I beat.
Fair enough. Man of Medan.
Didn't play.
If that goes on Game Pass, I'll play that with you.
Okay.
I've beat that game 3 times, but we have to. We'll talk about it in a sec. Okay. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Nope.
You didn't beat it?
No. I wanted to beat it for this podcast.
You suck, dude.
Absolutely.
You suck. Destiny 2 Shadowkeep.
Did beat that.
World War Z.
Did beat that.
You don't even remember. Jesus, we literally beat it together.
Dude, I don't remember what games I beat. I told you this.
Need for Speed Heat. Didn't play. And last but not least, a Blair Witch. Blair Witch, not a Blair Witch.
Did not.
So I beat, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 24 games this year.
Yep.
That's not bad. I don't think that's a bad haul.
I'd say that's a good haul.
It could have been better, but I don't think that's bad.
That's like if I'm 2 games a month.
Yeah, then obviously all the games of service stuff. Like if I'm looking at this list now, I'm thinking put a lot of time into Anthem on PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
Put a lot of time into Division 2. Put a lot of time into Apex. Put a lot of time into I don't know what else was on here. Like Resident Evil 2. I suppose you could say I put a lot of time in. I played that.
Absolutely.
I've beat that a few times. But yeah, I put a lot of time into a lot of games. Games I still need to beat. So games I never got to. Games I got to but never beat. Kingdom Hearts doesn't really count. Kingdom Hearts is on here, so I've got that game but just never got around to playing it. Life is Strange, I've still got episode 2, 3, 4 and 5 to beat, and then Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but that doesn't matter for this podcast. Games I played that I never that I got played enough of but didn't beat because I just for one reason or another. Trials Rising, which I feel like I just played enough of that game where I was like, it's Trials Rising, I don't need any more of this. It's fun while you're doing it. As soon as you get stuck on some parts, you're like, I don't need to keep playing this. We all know what that game is. Dauntless, I wasn't compelled to keep playing that game and beating all the monsters and grinding it out. Just for me, it was cool for the little bit that we did play it, but that was enough.
What would you consider beating that game?
I'm guessing beating every single monster that there is.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fair, because there isn't like loads. It's a free-to-play game, and there isn't like that many monsters. They keep adding them.
It would be all the monsters on release, right?
All the release day monsters, yeah. I'd say
okay.
would be you beat that game. I played Void's Bastards, which again same sort of thing. I played enough of it. It just wasn't my type of game. My time at Portia. I don't know.
That's an early access game, right? Or is that fully
No, that's out. That's fully out.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, that's fully out. Just didn't grab me the way I thought it would. It seemed perfect for me, like Minecraft light with a story, with a town, with a this, with a that. And then when I started playing it, I was a bit like, this is Portia. It's fine. Metro Exodus, which is my biggest biggest letdown this year for me because of the way I played that game. I should have done the due diligence and played the first 2 games. I had time. I should have. That's an MC Fixer type game. But I just didn't. The story didn't click with me instantly, and I was like, you know what? I can't. These characters clearly have relationships. I don't know what they are. Yeah, and like jumping in at the end here just doesn't seem to work for me.
Yeah, because it does feel like it's at the peak of the story, right?
That's what it feels like to me, anyway. Yeah. Maybe that changes as you go along, but I played up till when the train gets stuck at that town.
That's where I played.
I got to there and I was like,
"Oh, you got to the town? You didn't go to the town at all?"
A little bit, a tiny bit. Yeah, and I was just like, "Do you know what? This isn't working for me.
Got it.
My friend Pedro ended up playing towards the end of the year. That was fun. It was a lot of fun, but just wasn't compelled to beat it. Time trials and stuff like that, and skill points and lead. It just not for me. Not my type of game. The Outer Worlds, which of course I think is a fantastic game. I can see why it's on people's Game of the Year list if you're into that type of game. But for me, it was just not... I want that type of game, which I'm getting this. I'm getting what I want, which is Cyberpunk. I want the Cyberpunk version of that. I don't want what that is. That Space never has done it for me, so you're playing through this world. I'm like, this is kind of cool. The gameplay's kind of cool. I don't think its shooting mechanics are that great, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, they're definitely...
I truly miss VATS. I get the slowdown stuff, and I like the shrink ray gun and stuff like that. There's cool components to that game, but just not for me.
Got it.
And then last but not least on this list, Sekiro.
Well,
my biggest letdown of I should have beat it.
Oh, okay. Because
I should have beat it. No, in terms for me, like not.
Yeah.
We'll get to our top 10s very soon. Okay. But for me, it's like, oh man, that game. I should have beat it. I really should have.
Yeah, you got up to what, the last boss, or like before the last boss?
I messed up in that game. I should have took the easy way out. There was an easy exit, and you
did that on accident, right?
I did, so it wasn't on purpose. If I would have known, I would have took the easy way out.
Okay,
I would have. But there's clearly, to be honest, people would have called it a cheese anyway, because there's clearly a true ending, and then there's a short ending for no reason, in my opinion. But what I will say is, I love that game. But that game will definitely come up again very, very soon. And then I've got this last little list of games I missed in 2019 that I wanted to play, which was The Surge 2, Lonely Mountains Downhill, Wreckfest, Layers of Fear 2, and Plants vs. Zombies Battle of Neighborville.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like I played a lot of games this year. Like, I played over 35 games, it feels like.
You probably did, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which I feel like that's a lot of games.
Yeah. I'm sure there's even some stuff that's missing there, probably.
Maybe. I'm trying to think now, because I'm trying to help you out. For games I know that you played, like Mortal Kombat 11, you beat.
Well, MK11, I beat Kingdom Hearts.
Yep.
Goose Game. I beat Goose Game.
Untitled Goose Game. Interesting. Interesting. We'll see what that gets in your top 10. I'm just loading your achievements real quick because I'll be able to check through that. It's still loading for some reason. God. Did you ever play? You played Slayer.
Spire. Slay the Spire. Yeah.
You played that. You played Remnant of the Ashes. Power Rangers.
The Power Rangers fighting game. Yep. Bloodstained.
Ritual of the Night.
Yep.
What else? So I think that's a Moonlighter. It says you played that, no? Did you not play that?
I might have started it and never actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. Jump Force is on here still. Creature of the Well. You played some of these smaller games that I didn't get to.
Yeah. I tried them, and then it was just like, these aren't for me. So I don't remember them, because I just like play them, I don't remember them, and then I move past them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I talked about like most of these on the podcast at some point that I tried.
Yeah, definitely. But this is the roundup. Yeah. All right. But there we're at. This is where we're at.
Yeah.
So the rules are you don't have to have beaten the game to have it in your top 10. But I would say you need to have played a substantial amount of it to know what the game is. If we're being realistic.
Yeah.
I can start at number 10.
Okay.
Anthem.
Interesting. Okay.
Anthem for me, again, it's one of those games that if you look at it from the outside looking in, you think that game is a giant piece of turd that had absolutely no content, that had nothing good about it, that the community sucked and blah 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 blah. And a lot of that is true. Yes. There wasn't that much content, it was very rinse and repeat. But what was there at its core is a fantastic game. And that's why we play games. Some people prefer story and some people prefer that, but the reason we play games is for gameplay. That's why we want to feel like something. And no game has ever made me feel like Iron Man the way that game did. Its abilities were unique to each of its classes. Could they have done more with that game? 100%, obviously. They dropped the ball big time with that game. But if you take Anthem on just what it is at the start, I definitely think it deserved to be in this top 10 sheerly because of gameplay.
Because of the gameplay, yeah.
Sheerly because of the gameplay. And that's why it sits at number 10 on my list.
Yeah, interesting enough,
so,
it's...
Yeah, I was about to say, you got to say, if we have joint games, tell me where yours is on your list.
Okay, yeah, it's number 10 on my list as well.
Oh, okay, damn.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Because I was like, it deserves... Exactly. I was like, I enjoyed it enough that it deserves a reason, and I feel like I'd be disingenuous to myself if I didn't put it on this list.
I mean, I put 10 hours on PC. I think I put over 100 hours, if not, pretty sure 100 hours on Xbox. Like, clearly, I liked that game a lot when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was, to be fair, like, the journey to the end of that game was incredibly fun. It's once you get to the end.
I don't know.
You disagree?
I still don't know. The story just for me, just is kind of non-existent, and I get what you're saying.
I'm not talking in the sense of the story. It's just that while you're going there, you're doing... The gameplay doesn't get to that like repetitive pace of get the contract, do the contract. It's one of three possibilities.
I hear what you're saying. That's true. That's true. I get what you're saying. The journey's okay for me, if I'm being honest, but it's like the gameplay that kept me going for all those extra hours. So
yeah, absolutely.
Number 9. Oh, go on. So you go.
Anthem.
No, number 9.
Oh, number 9.
Unless you got more to say about.
No, I don't. I was confused for a second because I was confused because you did number 10 first.
Yeah, cool. No, number 9.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Slay the Spire.
Okay.
Yeah. Why? I honestly, it's just like that gameplay loop of Slay the Spire and the way that game works.
I don't know anything about this game, so.
So you start off with a basic deck of cards, and then each turn you have 3 energy points, and then you get more throughout the game. And you can put down certain cards, and as you're going through you put down certain cards. It's like a turn-based mechanic. You draw cards from the deck. You put down what cards you want to play. You discard what cards you don't use.
Okay.
And as you're beating stuff, you'll open chests and beat bosses and stuff like that, and you'll get relics that do special things, and then you'll also get other cards. And so you have to slowly build your deck.
Sorry, that's
so you sort of go through builds, and each character, you have 3 playable characters, and each character sort of has multiple builds they can go through. So each playthrough, and every time you lose, it's a roguelike, so you restart over. So each playthrough feels unique and
different. Yeah. Fair enough. Doesn't sound like a fixer type of game, but
I really don't think it's a fixer type game.
Don't think it's a fixer type game, but it sounds good. Number 9 for me is Need for Speed Heat. Okay. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really expect to care about Need for Speed again in my lifetime. I was done with the series. I hadn't played Need for Speed since Most Wanted, and I'll be honest. Obviously it was sent to me by EA, and let me clarify. No, Anthem wasn't. So I'll let everyone know the games that were sent to me and what wasn't, just so for review purposes. EA did send me a copy of Need for Speed Heat. Again, I wouldn't have played this game otherwise, if I'm being honest. Like, it wasn't EA access yet and stuff like that, so probably just would have not have got to it because it wasn't on my radar. And then one day I hop on, I pop it in, and I start playing. And I'm like, I don't really like this, honestly. I don't like the drifting. It doesn't feel good. And it's that realization of, oh no, your car's crud. Like, it's a bad car, so that's why it's not controlling the way you want to. And then I started playing, and it just played more and more and more. And I just loved the premise of the day and night cycle, which is like daytime you're earning cash for races, nighttime you're earning heat, like points to then progress the story. It does that thing at the end of the game that I hate, where it's like it makes you do certain parts that you don't want to do, like you're grinding very heavily for certain things. But what I realized was I was still using my starter car when I could have bought better cars that would have made me blow through that story way quicker. That didn't impact my experience with the game personally, because I kind of liked my journey with, it was my character with his bullshit crappy car that he was building up. So for me, it kind of worked like that. And then towards the end, I ended up buying a Porsche, which was like the best car in the game, and it just like blew away everybody. But for that moment before I had to buy that Porsche to get to the next part, it felt like a cool journey of like, I'm a starter racer, and the story's pretty much meh, nothing there, but its gameplay was just super satisfying.
Yeah.
It didn't force me to do drift races, which is the one thing I always hate about games, where like you're playing a racing game and you just want to race, and then it's like, no, go do this drift race. No, it's very much, do you want to do this drift race? Do you want to go see this person? Okay, go do that. Do you want to go do this other person's circuit races? Go do that. If you don't want to, just carry on doing what you're doing, which is very, very doable. So yeah, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. So very, very, very impressed by Need for Speed. I DM'd them, literally saying congratulations on the game, because I was surprised at how good it was. That seemed to me a game with no budget, with no push, with no nothing.
Yeah,
like, literally. Like even I went to the again, was sent to me, and I went to the press event for it to cover it with Mr. Midas, and even that event, I was just a bit like, wow. There was literally 2, 4, 6. I think there was 10 stations to play the game at this whole event.
Yeah.
The rest was just cars and influencers, and then musicians like H, that's his name, H, and stuff. Like, it was one of those things. Is like, this seems to be thrown together very last minute and yada yada yada, but the game actually comes together and plays really well. So very impressed. Okay. So that's number 9 for me. Okay. Number 8, Crash, for me.
Number 8. Oh, okay.
We'll go back and forward.
All right.
The Walking Dead, the final season.
Okay.
The journey of me and Clementine has come to an end. And that in itself is upsetting. Obviously, I remember the first time I played The Walking Dead, like the first season. My uncle, Fishy, my uncle Michael bought it. I was at his house. He got his 360. He was playing his 360. He was like, "Oh, there's a Walking Dead game. Let's buy it." Bought it for £5, the first episode, and I was like, what is this? Like, it's point and click. I'm like, no, thank you. But then you start experiencing this story, and you meet this character Lee, and you meet this character Clementine. You're like, okay, that goes through for like the next, how long is the game been? 5 years, 4 years, something like that. Nah. And then we get to this end, and obviously everything that happened with Telltale, the end of the story wasn't going to happen. It was rescued at the last minute, and all of it just all come together, and they did a great job in finishing the game and ending it in a way that satisfied me anyway. Is there a little bit of a cop-out stuff there? Yes, but I do think all in all, it was a great experience and definitely deserved to be on this list. So, okay. Again, the one thing I will say to caveat that, again, I paid for that game, but to caveat that is, it is hard to judge like that game solely by just that game, because there's so much that comes along with it, which is like season 1, season 2, New Frontier. Like, there's like there's so much content there.
I was about to ask, is it just that game that makes it on the list, or is it the whole experience?
No, it's just that game. That game does stand. You can play that game standalone and understand what's going on, and still get a really meaningful story between AJ and Clementine. And there is something there for people that have not played any of the other seasons. Definitely. Okay. Is it as impactful? No, because you don't know who Clementine is from a baby, not a baby, but from a child to this adult now taking care of a baby sort of thing. So yeah, it's a great game though. I definitely enjoyed it, and I hope we get more story-driven narrative stuff like this. I don't know if we will.
There's a new Telltale in town.
There is. The Wolf Among Us is coming, Crash.
Yep.
Will it be good? We'll find out. What's your number 8?
Kingdom Hearts.
Low on this list.
Yeah. I really wish that I could put it higher. But I was contemplating if it even belongs on the list, to be honest, at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As much as like I enjoyed the story of the game and where that went and everything, there was just the fact the game was too easy, which made all the new stuff and all the new introductions of gameplay elements they brought into the game, it never felt rewarding, and I never felt for doing stuff. Whereas with Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1 and even the handheld versions, on the higher difficulties, you did have to have a certain level of skill or knowledge of the game to actually like do good in it and feel accomplished, where this just completely throws it out the window. That being said, I do think they add a whole bunch of new stuff, like the Keyblade forms and all that stuff is really cool and fun new additions to the game. Seeing some of these worlds again is really cool. It's a pretty game as well on top of that. So yeah.
Man, you were so hyped about that game as well.
Yeah. I like here's the thing. Like, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's in the top 10. So I enjoyed it. It just wasn't where I would have wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But still on the positive end, so you know.
I've put something here at number 7. And the more I thought about it from the time I wrote this list to now, I don't know if it deserves to be on here, and I could take it out altogether.
What is it?
Borderlands 3.
Oh.
At number 7. Now, what would I replace it with? Man of Medan, which isn't on my list currently.
Okay.
But that game is such a unique and great experience that I feel like I'm doing it a disservice. I'll do honorable mentions at the end. F it. No, damn.
So you keep Borderlands. Yeah. So would you remove Borderlands altogether, or would you have just move it lower?
I'd probably bump everything down. So I would go Borderlands at 8, Walking Dead at 9, Need for Speed at 10, Anthem drops out, and then Man of Medan goes in at 7. I'd be honest, but we'll leave it. We'll keep it. So Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3. And for the reason of that was for the pure fact that it's more Borderlands.
Okay.
You get nothing else here with this game. It is more Borderlands. It's I think personally one of the weaker stories in the Borderlands series, if I'm being honest. Not to say that I think Borderlands stories are like that in depth, but it's one of the weaker stories. It came, it saw, it conquered me, it left. Like I tried to be the person to keep playing that game, and I'm like, oh yeah, that endgame's not good. Like it's not a fun endgame for me. Where because the problem is with that game is you can max out your character so much that grinding for stuff is pointless and boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard somebody talking about it, and they put it in a really good way where Borderlands is very stuck in the time of when Borderlands originally came out.
Yes.
Where there are games like games with service that have come out that have done a better job than what Borderlands does.
But I don't.
Even like something like Destiny in certain aspects does a better job than Borderlands.
Yeah, 100%.
And Borderlands should have adapted certain things. Like its lobby system is a little outdated, which makes it kind of not super easy to get into with people.
Okay, yeah, I get it. That, again, Borderlands is Borderlands. I understand why they didn't change it, but I think if they want to be in that category for Game of the Year, they have the potential to, because they have a great cast of characters, they have a great world, they have great guns, like everything is there, but like it needed more. Like there needs to be a reason, especially endgame wise. Like you get through the story, cool, but the endgame is just not there. It's not there for me. It really isn't. So yeah, number 7. And again, it could have easily been bumped off this list. Easily. But yeah, I'll go number 7.
Okay. For me, at number 7, Untitled Goose Game.
Wow, you actually enjoyed that game.
Yeah. The more I thought about it, and the more I was thinking, where would I put it on this list? If I were to put it on the list, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall as a game, it's a really short game. It's like a 2.5-hour game. Yeah. But I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I like the puzzles. I think the game is very well made as well. And there's not a moment in that game where I felt overly frustrated. There are points where I'm like a little confused with what I have to do, but it's a puzzle game. That's what comes with the territory. So yeah, I think it's a sweet game. It's nice. You play an asshole duck, which right up my alley. You know,
definitely for you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 7.
Fair enough. Number 6, Crash. What you got?
Mortal Kombat 11.
Man, I really wish I liked fighting games. This would be the fighting game I played if I liked fighting games.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, NetherRealm in particular are really good for people who like fighting games but don't like playing against other people.
Yeah.
They have a ton of stuff for you to do and grind out. You can grind out gear and cosmetics and all that stuff.
Yeah. Why Mortal Kombat over what other games come? What other fighting games come out this year?
Sam Show, which I didn't play.
Yep.
Soul Calibur, I think, came out this year. Didn't play that either. And then the Power Rangers game.
Naruto.
That wasn't.
Or they're just going Game Pass this year.
That came out this year, but that's not a fighting game.
Jump Force. I'm talking about. That's what. I'm
Jump
about.
Force. Jump Force.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend.
Okay. So this was the best. This was the best fighting game for you this year. Got ya. Why? What's so good about it? Obviously, for me, what draws me in on that game is obviously its story. Its story mode looks fantastic.
The story is good. The story is good for a fighting game, and it's good for like an action flick. And it's not a long story mode, right? You get in, you enjoy it, you see these characters, you go through different chapters, play different characters, see different aspects, and it's cool. It's fun. That's all enjoyable. But for me, it really comes down to the gameplay and everything they did with Mortal Kombat this time around. They slowed down the pace. They made it more of a neutral game as opposed to before Mortal Kombat was very in your face. And once you get opened up, you're losing like 50 to 60% of your life bar.
Got ya.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
And it's all those like new mechanics and the new characters they introduced as well. Did I say new mechanics?
Yes.
I meant new characters. New characters they introduced. Yeah, it's just like overall, it's also a really good looking game. It might still Gears of War is probably like the best looking game to come out this year.
Oh, we can talk about that in a second, but sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah.
It's definitely up there regardless, like as far as visuals go. There's not too much that I would sort of pick apart about the game. Maybe the cosmetics and the way that works isn't super enjoyable.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really think the game, NetherRealm did a really amazing job with the game.
Fair enough. Number 6. Don't hate me, everybody, please. I'm sorry. Do not hate me. Gears of War 5.
Number 6.
I think people slept on this year. I generally do think people slept on this year. Gears of War 5 is a phenomenal game. I want to put the caveat on this very clear. Number 1, got sent the game. Also got sent Borderlands, by the way. I got sent the game. Let's just put that out there. It was in Game Pass, but whatever. You understand what I'm saying. The end was spoiled for me. So, unfortunately, I have to go in with those expectations as well. Which, I hate to say it, but that ruined that game for me. It left such a sour taste in my mouth, which isn't the game's fault. It's kind of my fault for not beating it quick enough, or for having idiots in my Discord. But yeah, the game overall, I think Gears of War 5 is a phenomenal Gears game. It does a great job of building upon Gears 4. It tells a fantastic story. It implements new stuff that I personally didn't need, but I understand why it's there, to change the formula, to change Gears. But it kind of reminds me of Borderlands in that aspect, where it's like, it changed enough to say it changed, but not enough really. Like, it's not drastic. It seems like it is, but it actually isn't. Like, the open worldness kind of thing isn't that drastic of a change in terms of when we look at games as a whole. I get what we mean when it comes to Gears of War. It's drastic. It's never had nothing like that. But I'm talking about, for me, it just didn't need to be there. I like my Gears of War games strictly as a story-driven, beat to beat to beat to beat to beat.
So
I didn't need the change.
You didn't want it to change.
I think that's probably fair to say. I didn't want it to change. Yeah.
So it's not like Borderlands, which you thought needed something to change, whereas this you wanted to change. Or this you didn't want to change.
I didn't want this to change. I didn't really think Borderlands needed to change either, because I like Borderlands for what it is. But I just think the problem with Borderlands is they sold it as something different a little bit, where they've mentioned endgame and stuff. Where Gears of War for me, it was a case of, I enjoyed the added moments, and they were definitely optional and stuff. I could have skipped them, but I didn't need them. I could have done, I'll be honest with you, I know people love the skiff and stuff like that. Skiff. I just could have done that once and been fine. Like, I didn't need all of it. I really didn't. All of it was just, for me, a bit much. Loved Gears of War. Think it's a great game. Told a great story. Cannot wait to play the next one. Enjoyed the cast of characters. Enjoyed the voice actors. Definitely agree with you being it could be one of the prettiest games this gen, bar none. But it doesn't beat any of these other games that I played this year.
Okay. Interesting.
Where are you? Number 6.
Number 6. I did my number 6, didn't I?
Did you start with 6? Yeah, you probably did.
9, 7, yeah, I did 6.
Cool.
Number 5.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
What's your biggest shock so far on my list then? Of my bottom 5?
Gears of War.
Really? You
Gears of War not being in that top 5, even like number 5, is just
interesting.
I'm gonna be interested in what the top 5 are now. That's what it makes it.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought Kingdom Hearts for you would be way higher.
I thought it would be too, but when I was thinking over it, I was like, the difficulty was such a big flaw in the game.
Yeah.
Where it just took so much out of my enjoyment on that game and me looking back at that game as well.
Okay. All right. Number 5 then, Crash.
You're gonna like this one. Resident Evil 2 remake.
Number 5?
Number 5. Number 5. And I'll tell you why it's number 5.
Go on then.
It's the second half of the game.
You mean the
everything after everything from the lab?
No,
not
not
when you play Claire.
Not the second scenario. You mean literally the second half of the game?
Yeah. I just because every time I'm thinking about the game and I think about the heights of that game and how much I enjoyed that game, it's all in the police station. Yeah, and then it's the lab that's just kind of like lukewarm. Like I don't think the lab's horrible, but I don't think it's super enjoyable. And I do think.
I 100% cannot disagree with you on that because I've always thought that about Resident Evil 2 anyway. Like, the reason why whenever you watch me play Resident Evil 2, think like for people that have watched me play it on stream, like on Twitch, like I know the first half of that game like the back of my hand. I don't know the second half of that game very well. Why? Because even as a kid, I would get all the way up to the lab and be like, I'll start again. Generally, because I do agree with you. The police station is the atmosphere is so amazing, and I'll definitely talk about it more very soon. But
especially in this, the atmosphere in the police station, the horror and the suspense they make, especially as they're like introducing different things. Like the first time you see Mr. X, that's his name, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very suspenseful, and then he's following you and like. I don't know how to get away from him in the beginning, and I don't even know that you could like kind of run by him and all that stuff.
Yeah. You mean all the stuff that you've seen? Like
yeah.
The problem with that game for me is speedrunning it has ruined the game for me.
So you can't even go back and play it the same way because you're like, I know the easiest way to do this.
I mean, the only way I could is if I like actively, which is what I do when like I go through and I find every document and then we read through the story again. Like then I get to play the game relatively normal again because I'm not trying to rush. But now if I just like even if I play it on PC, I literally turn it on and sprint. Like I just play it like a speed run, and it's like, damn, I shouldn't have done this. Like I don't think I could ever do the first boss fight. I don't think I could ever do that fight without a knife now, because I know how to beat it with a knife in about 10 seconds. Even on hard, it's the same thing. So
yeah, do you kind of regret speedrunning it?
No, because I've got a lot of fun out of watching people speedrun. A lot of fun. Okay. No, I just think it's just retrain your brain, which is like I'm playing this for enjoyment. I'm playing this for a speedrun. I've just got to learn that, which is like it's like killing zombies instead of avoiding zombies. Like but I've done runs like that where it's like avoid every zombie. Like so you're trying to save as much ammo. Where like all the other runs where it's like I'm going to take everyone's head off. Like it's just different. You have to gamify that game in your head, sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Number 5. That's not bad though, Crash. We'll talk about Resident Evil again very soon. So let's leave it there for now. Number 5 for me, which again you're right. It could easily have flipped with Gears, definitely, but it didn't. A Plague Tale: Innocence.
Okay.
That game was, again, I remember, again, I got invited to a press media outlet junket to interview the dev, and I was like, I don't even know what this game is, why am I going? Like, it was one of those ones where, like, you get invited and you're like, I don't know about this. And I turned up, and it's at a fancy hotel. This has nothing to do with the game, by the way, but once I got there and saw what the game was, I was like, it's stealth driven, it's not an action game. Like, remember, Fixer don't play stealth. Like, this just doesn't look like a me type game. And then I started playing the game. And you have this great story about these two fantastic characters and their journey and what's going on. And then when it's told about, like, oh, there's rats and they're going to kill you, it's like, that sounds dumb. And then you start playing it, like, this is actually really good. It's really good. It's simple enough to get, but it's so, the atmosphere, the storytelling, the music, the everything is done perfectly. It doesn't overstay its welcome in length. It's just one of those games that I'm so happy that I played, and I'm glad I didn't miss it. There's a ton of games I missed this year, guaranteed, that were fantastic games, indie games and AA games. This was one of the ones that I'm so happy that I didn't miss it. I'm giving away a copy right now on my Twitter, on PS4, so feel free to go retweet and like that. I'll give it away tomorrow, so yeah.
Okay. And that's definitely one that's very missable, because like a lot of people have missed that from what I'm like hearing people talk and everything.
100%. I mean, it's one of those games, again, it didn't have a budget to promote it. I mean, I think it's Koch Media that published it. You got Absolute Team that made it. It's just like one of those games that, like, people will wake up to the next game they bring out, hopefully. Yeah, where this game was like, hopefully it made its money back. I don't know if it did or not. I hope it made its money back and like they're like, okay, we can do this again. But honestly, so much fun. Great game.
Okay.
Yeah. Were you me? Is it me? No, shoot.
You keep switching it up. So
I don't know. I keep messing up.
So I'm number 4 then. If I'm going next. Yeah. Apex Legends.
Ah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this game when it came out. Like, I played a lot of it when it came out.
Yeah.
And I stopped playing it, sadly. I hopped out of it.
Why?
I don't know. It's just, I can't tell you a reason why I stopped playing it. Just that I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
And like that game, just from a design standpoint, is so good. Especially like the pinging system. Every game either implemented it or will implement it in the future.
Yeah. Well, Fortnite took it.
Yeah, Fortnite added it.
Yeah.
Fortnite added that. It added reviving, right? Yep. These were things that weren't in Fortnite.
No,
but
exactly.
Just fundamentally make Fortnite a more enjoyable game, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that game design-wise and jumping in and the way you pick up attachments, they'll auto-equip, and all this stuff just made it such an enjoyable
It was the
moment.
totally opposite of PUBG, right? Where it's like, attach everything separately, take everything apart separately, this, that, and that, geared loot, blah, 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 blah. Like, it was like a mix. It was the perfect mixture between Fortnite and PUBG, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I think it has enjoyable characters. It's made by Respawn. Respawn's an amazing developer. So yeah. I think we've talked about it a bunch. I don't know if there's really much more to add on that.
Yeah, I hear you. Number 4 for me. Devil May Cry 5.
Okay. Okay.
This one won't really Crash's 5. It's in my top 4, Crash.
I'm glad it's in your top 4.
It's a fantastic game, man. Again, for someone who, again, I've not played Devil May Cry since Devil May Cry 2 on the PS2. Like, it just, I remember playing this game and being like, alright, we'll see. We'll see. This probably won't stick. Let's be honest. This probably won't stick. And then you start playing it, you're like, wow.
Yeah. I remember watching you start that game, and in the beginning, you were having like a little bit of trouble getting into it.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like worried. I was like, oh man, it's not going to click for him. He's not going to enjoy it. And then at some point, I walk away and I come back, and you're like, oh man, I love this game. Which was,
It's one of those games that I didn't need it. When it got announced, I was like, okay, sure, whatever. I wasn't hyped about it. Again, I'm a Capcom kid. I love Capcom games. I remember playing Devil May Cry 1 and 2 with my uncle. He loved them. And then like playing 5, it brought back all those memories. It brought back that gameplay that I love. It's one of the most fluent action packed games. Like, it's just so fluent. It works. Like, you wouldn't expect it to work. And the combos you can do if you want to get really good at it, you can. And the different characters. I think my biggest flaw with that whole game is the voice actress who plays the character in the car. I forgot her name. And not because she's a bad voice actor. I just don't think her voice fits the character.
Yeah, I agree. What they went for is kind of like, it felt very reminiscent of what Final Fantasy 15 did with Cindy. Is that her name?
Yeah. And she's like a cow. She sounds like a cowgirl, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's very similar. It's like I don't think either of those necessarily fit, but I don't think you interact with those characters enough for it to really be a drawback.
I think it's enough in Devil May Cry that I'm like, every time I heard her voice, I was like, this doesn't work. Okay. This doesn't work. And I wanted to like the character because she's quite quirky. She's funny. The writing's not bad for her. It's just I don't like the voice that went with it. But yeah, like Devil May Cry was fantastic for me. I'm really glad I played it. It's in Game Pass now, which to me, all these games, like a lot of these games we've spoken about, if you go back and look, which we can do at the end maybe, of like the amount of these games that are in Game Pass, like you are saving so much money by having Game Pass and getting to play the best games out there this year. Like
Game Pass is a steal, honestly. If you have a PC or an Xbox, highly recommended you get Game Pass.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So that is that. So is it me?
No, you just said that, no?
Yeah, but then I go next because you've done your 4 already, right?
Yes.
So it's me.
Wasn't that your 4?
Yes. So now I'm gonna do my number 3.
Okay, you're doing this in a mad confusing
way.
No,
it's not really confusing. Yes. It's not. It's like I go, you go, I go, you go. But obviously that is what I'm doing.
Because you're switching it up. You went 4, now you're going 3.
Oh, go on then. Go. Just go.
Just go.
No, you go. No, I'm not going either.
It's going to be a silent podcast.
Number 3. Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Okay.
The pure fact that this game's in my top 3 tells you everything you need to know. Again, full transparency, I went to a Call of Duty press event. I was sent a copy of the game. Blah, 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 blah. The story in Call of Duty Modern Warfare is in my top 3 stories of the year. It's a military shooter that I should not give a crap about. I shouldn't care.
Agreed.
It just generally, I don't care about military shooters. I don't care about Call of Duty stories. I don't care about any of it. And honestly, I went in wanting for it to be bad so I could stop playing. It wasn't. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It told a story that was quite impactful, that touched on social issues that I didn't expect it to. It was... It didn't have, for me, it didn't have any characters that I really latched onto, that I really loved and really cared about. And like even the ending with a character that I just didn't... I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But the way that game is packaged, the way that game is built, the way that story is told, the gameplay is probably the best shooter out there currently, in my opinion. Which I think I would have gave it to Destiny, and then I probably would have went Destiny, then Apex. Now I goes Call of Duty, Destiny, Apex for me, in my opinion, when it comes to shooting. It just, again, it's one of those games that, on a base level, story-wise, fantastic. Then you drop down to its multiplayer, and whether you love it or hate it, it's a great multiplayer. I haven't even touched Spec Ops, and it's in my top 3.
Yep.
It's just so much fun. So much fun.
Audio as well is fantastic.
Audio, it's literally, that's why when you say Gears of War's best looking game, I was like, I could argue that is.
The only thing with that, I don't know, because I don't know if the cutscenes are pre-rendered. Okay. They don't look like they're in-game, but I could be wrong about that. I could be completely wrong about that.
Most of that game I played off-stream as well, so I played it on my big TV in 4K,
right, 4K,
and I was just like, oh my god, this game looks amazing. So,
but
yeah,
absolutely.
that for me has to be in my top 3. Has to be fantastic.
That's fair.
What you got?
For me, Gears of War 5 is my number 3. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love this game. And honestly, this game had a very good chance of being my number 1 game. But there's one fact about it. One thing that just kept it from being the best game this year.
This multiplayer?
No, it's not even the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is fantastic. I didn't put a lot of time into it. But I think it's a good multiplayer. It is Act 2 of the campaign. Slow. I think it's a stupid act.
I don't think it's that bad.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it from a gameplay aspect. I don't enjoy it from a story aspect. I get why it was there, and I get why they wanted to go there, right? To show you somewhere else, like a different setting and all that stuff. And I do think it works better than I'll sell it and say it is, right?
Yeah.
But just for me personally, it didn't click with me the way I think I wanted the whole campaign to click with me, the way the rest of the campaign clicked with me.
And you loved everything else about the extra stuff and all that, right?
Oh yeah, I love the what do they call it? The skit?
The skiff. Yeah.
Yeah, the skiff. I love the skiff. I love the added like side stories and all that stuff. I love the additions to the lore. I love where the story goes. I love everything about that. I think the multiplayer is super well done. Yeah. I think escape mode's a really cool new mode that maybe needs a bit more to it, but then again, maybe I didn't grind it enough.
Yeah.
I think the additions to horde mode is cool, but that's still just horde mode.
Yeah.
Which we were gonna grind all the time.
You don't care about.
No, I don't like horde mode.
I think carry on. We'll talk about it after. We've got plenty of time afterwards, so carry
on. I don't really think there's anything else to add. Visually, it's a beautiful game. The lighting in that game is amazing. I think the lighting in that game is the best game in terms of lighting.
Yep, I agree with you. Yep.
It was really, really fantastic the way they did lighting in that game. The audio's same quality Gears has always been, which I think Gears has always been good in audio.
Yep.
I think voice acting, Laura Bailey absolutely kills it as Kate.
Yes, always.
Yeah. I really like this game. It's a really good game.
Fair enough. Number 2, Crush. For me. Because you want me just to go.
Okay.
Alright, shut up.
Just go.
Just shut up. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Okay.
Nah. Again, I will say. Didn't beat this game.
Yep.
Didn't beat this game. But for the pure fact, and let me just paint a picture real quick. I didn't beat this game. I cheesed every boss that I could. I looked up walkthroughs. I did everything to ruin the experience of this game. I did. And this game is still number 2 for me. It was one of those experiences that when I started playing, again, never played Dark Souls. I played a tiny bit of Bloodborne. And I was playing it, and I was like, wow, this is special. And I finally understand why people love these hard, gritty games. And it was that moment of learning the game together. Yeah. And I played it with Twitch chat the whole time as well, which really helped, which was like, I learned how to play. I learned how to parry. I learned how to do this. I learned how to do that. Yes, I did look up walkthroughs to cheese some bosses and stuff like that. But, it was just one of those games that once I finished playing it, I've not stopped thinking about that game. Like, I generally wanted to beat everything I could this year so I could finally finish it and be like, haha, F you, Tony. But I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. I generally couldn't. I tried. It is a phenomenal experience. Yeah. And I can't believe how good it is.
Yeah.
Everything about it. Go on.
Can I be honest? When I was making my list, I completely forgot to put this on my list. I completely forgot this game came out this year.
Oh my god, you're such a scrub.
Yeah. I can tell you right now I would change my list around.
Where would it go?
I think it would go in the number 7 slot.
Number 7?
Yeah. I don't think it goes above that for me.
Wait, weren't Kingdom Hearts 8?
Yeah, it goes above Kingdom Hearts.
It goes above
Goose Game.
Okay.
So Goose Game goes down. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, damn, what's number 1 for you? We'll get to that. Yeah, it was just one of those games. Like, honestly, I feel like it was the one thing I hate about about the industry as a whole is we're very fortunate. I didn't get Sekiro sent to me for press, by the way, but a lot of outlets did, a lot of people did, a lot of influencers did, and yet they just don't play it. For me, it's a case of why not give it a go? It's like, oh, that's not my type of game. It's like, but why not just give it a go? Like, I would have said that wasn't my type of game. 100%. Hard, punishing, everything about it is just no.
Yeah.
But once I played that first horse fight boss, I remember, and you couldn't cheese that one, and I just remember learning the pattern and just learning and you just do it. And once you beat a boss, it's almost as good as making love, honestly, because it's just like, wow. I achieved that. I did
It's very satisfying. It is very, very satisfying. And with some of the bosses, at least, I didn't look up guides on how to cheese them, but I found my own ways to cheese them.
Yeah.
Even when you cheese them, it's still not like sort of you go in, you do this one cheese trick, and you get through it. You still have to figure out how you're gonna apply the cheese.
100%. You're 100% right. It's not when I'm saying cheese it. Yeah, I'm cheesing them, but it's more a case of like I still have to do it. Like it's still a cheese of having to do something. Hence why I couldn't beat the game. Like generally, like I got to a boss that I generally just couldn't. I had mentally checked out of that game, unfortunately, and I couldn't cheese it to help me. And I was like, do you know what? No, I'm done. No more.
Yeah.
No more. But yeah, man, fantastic game. What a journey. What a journey. Yeah. That's number 2 for me. What's your number 2?
Devil May Cry 5. Yeah. I like the story. I like the combat. The combat's so good in that game. It's very reminiscent of a fighting game if you want to like learn the combos and all that stuff. You look confused.
How is your number 1?
You'll see.
I can't even think of it.
You'll see.
If you snowbite mates me and put PUBG.
Yeah. Fallout 76, boy, my number 1. Let me go early.
Oh my god, Jesus. Yeah, go on, sorry. Devil May Cry.
Yeah, no, Devil May Cry, graphically it's an amazing game. The music in that game is fantastic for what it is. It fits the game, it fits the tone. I enjoyed playing all 3 characters, even V. I know a lot of people didn't like playing as V.
I liked them all. Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the gameplay. And I think even if the story wasn't as interesting as it was for me, I think I think this game could have been an Anthem if everything else failed and the gameplay was still as it was.
Still
right?
that good, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Because the gameplay is really, really enjoyable, and I think it's the highlight of this game.
But maybe because I know a little bit about Devil May Cry, it made sense to me, and maybe it was like the perfect game to pick up after 2 for me, where I'm like, I know young Dante and cocky and like he's doing this, and then like, I come in and it's like he's old and he's not the main, and like for me it was just like that contrast of like, oh wow, this is so different to what I had last played. So
no, it's cool. It's cool also like back when Devil May Cry 4 came out, there was the fan theory that Virgil's Nero's father and all that stuff. So it was cool seeing that actually be the case and everything.
Yeah.
It was very, very good game.
Fair enough. Well, there's no point talking about my number 1 because we already know what it is. So, what is your number 1?
My number 1
game of the year.
My game of the year
for Two Fresh Crash.
For Two Fresh Crash is Two Fresh Crash. Crash. Twice in a row. Oh man. Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Damn.
Yeah. Had I not played the campaign, it would not have been my number 1.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That campaign along with the multiplayer, because the multiplayer is fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
The multiplayer is on point. There's stuff that's wrong with the multiplayer, but the gunplay and all that stuff's fantastic. The guns are enjoyable. The audio's enjoyable. But that campaign, like the roller coaster ride of that campaign and the part where you're playing as little people, is incredibly enjoyable.
Yes. That whole what's the word I'm looking for? Like that whole part. Let's just say that. Sequence is the word I was looking for. It is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think we touched up on it last week. Every single mission felt different and felt unique in that. I never felt like anything overstayed its welcome. I think you went in and out before. Maybe you might have wished, I wish this was a little bit longer, but had they made it a little bit longer, it might have ruined that experience. Yeah. So I'm fine with the length of each chapter. I don't think it's super long, so I don't think there's any point where it's like, oh man, I really want this to end next mission, right?
Yeah. I think the thing for me, which is key of like Call of Duty stories for me were always achievement grinds. I'm going to put it on the hardest difficulty, and I'm going to run forward and shoot as many people as I can. I'm going to run forward and shoot as many people as I can to get to that next checkpoint, get to that next checkpoint, get to that next checkpoint. And there's some cutscenes, but who cares? Yeah. And maybe it's because I went in with that expectation, and it was so much more than that. Like that sniper mission for me.
Yeah.
I don't like sniping. And that sniper mission was so much fun. The wind and trying to spot where the person was, and like all of it.
Learning how to do the shot because you'll mess it up a few times. Yeah.
All of it. Yeah. So fun.
It's also like really interesting because that game gives you a few moments where you have choices to make, and it doesn't necessarily let you know you have a choice to make. It doesn't. Which is so interesting. It's so well.
So spoiler, that I'm putting it out there real quick. If you've not played Call of Duty Story Mode, you have your moment. 3, 2, 1. Skip forward. The point where he's got the bag over his head and they're in the room before you go out to the van. Did you kill him?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But they didn't tell you. There's like,
you could just walk away.
Wait, it came up with like, you gotta do it, and he's like, oh, all right, you're not gonna do it, sort of thing. It's like, we'll leave him there then. And then like the door, I walked out the door, went back in the door, saw he was still sitting there. I was like, I'm just gonna see what happens. Probably gonna come up mission foul. I just boom, killed him.
And that's it.
His kids are screaming, and then it's like, oh, okay. I just decided to do that. That's it. Like, that now lives on in that world. That guy's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
That game does a lot of small stuff as well that's just really, really good. And it might have been the shock value as to why like this is so high on my list, because I wasn't expecting the campaign to be that I
told you, bro.
Because I told you, like, even after I played that first mission, I was like, oh, it's just like a military shooter, and it really isn't. No. It does have a story.
It is. It is a military shooter, but it's a good one.
It's not done in the way of, like, it's not done from the perspective of soldiers. It's done from the perspective of people, right?
Yes,
like, exactly. They're all soldiers.
Yes,
but yeah. So yeah, I was just that game, and I didn't play Spec Ops mode, so I don't know if that would adjust it and make me like it even more. I wouldn't care about Spec Ops,
really. So yeah.
So yeah, that's my number one. I wonder what your number one is, Fix.
It was a hard decision.
Honestly, League of Legends.
I was sat up all night thinking about it. Not League of Legends.
Smite.
No, not Smite. But I've decided
Resident Evil 6.
Not Resident Evil 6. It was about time that we put a sports game on here, so FIFA 20 is my game of the year. No, obviously, Resident Evil 2 Remake is my game of the year. There is no game, again, I've said time and time again, do not trust a word I say about this game. You can't trust me. I've drunk the Kool-Aid too much. Everything leading up to this game. There was the announcement to its gameplay. It was remade in the perfect way and is now surpassed. For me, it goes Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 2. Then we carry on with the list now. I generally can't believe in 2019 we got Resident Evil 2 Remake in January, and then announced in November Resident Evil 3 Remake. And I knew it was coming, don't get me wrong, but the fact that I get to sit here and be able to experience these games and they're remade, and like generally what's next? Like I can't believe that Resident Evil 3, and is it going to be bad? Is it going to be as good as 2? It's not done by the same team. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I generally don't know. But Resident Evil 2, again, it adds so much in terms of its atmosphere, its world. It's what I imagined when I was playing Resident Evil 2. I think I was 7 when it came out. Is what this game was. What I had in my head with those polygon graphics and the story is what we got. And the fact that they kept the crocodile in, and it wasn't in the same way, and was it as good? No, probably not. But it was still there, and just there's so much about that game that's right. Is there some wrong? Yeah, I do think the second half isn't paced as well, isn't as scary, isn't as good. But That being said, it is a remake. Like if they just took away that whole second half of the game, it wouldn't be.
It wouldn't be true to what it is.
Yeah. So
true.
they did the best. They did the best they could, and it's still better. It's way better than the laboratory in Resident Evil 2 normal. But yeah, it's just every time I think about the game, I get happy, and I think that's like the number one key feeling of like.
Yeah.
To see how far we've come with Resident Evil now, where like people are not shitting on it. People hate Resident Evil. Hardcore fans love Resident Evil, but people didn't like Resident Evil until this game.
Yeah, to be fair, a lot of that stems from like Resident Evil 5 and all those.
Well, people
games,
like 5 and 6. People like 5 and 6.
Do they?
Yes, people like 5 and 6. Resident Evil fans do not like 5 and 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, that is it. That is my game of the year this year. That is Crest game of the year. That is our top 10 list. Now we got to decide on Xbox's. My Xbox and me's game of the year.
Yeah.
So, your top 3 were Call of Duty,
Devil May Cry,
Gears of War. My top 3 were Resident Evil, Sekiro, Call of Duty.
Okay.
So we only agree on one of those.
Okay.
In our
which
top 3 was
COD.
COD. If you think I'm going to let Call of Duty win my Xbox and me's game of the year, you got another thing coming.
What do you think would be game of the year?
Resident Evil 2 remake.
No, it's not.
Why isn't it?
Because you know it's not.
Why?
Because the second half.
No.
Because like Call of Duty, its whole campaign from beginning to end is more enjoyable than one Resident Evil playthrough from beginning to end. The first half of a Resident Evil 2 playthrough, more enjoyable than all of Call of Duty. I would give you that. But it's that second half, it's that laboratory half that doesn't nail the landing 100%.
Look, I'm going to let you talk your smack.
I'm not talking smack.
Because I have to. And you're a host, and I have to respect it. But we're not, no. Call of Duty is good. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying Call of Duty is game of the year. Because if we're being objective here, you can make an argument that Call of Duty doesn't deserve it. But you absolutely have to. You have to be real to yourself, Vix. Deep down, past that bias, which I know you can be. You have to be real and admit what you know to be true.
Tony, you're in chat, and Tony's in chat right now. You didn't even play Resident Evil 2 remake. Shut up, innit? No one's listening to what you've got to say.
He saw you play it.
He saw me play. It's very true. Man, I hate this. You're probably right though. If I'm honest, if I have to like stop drinking the Kool-Aid, if I have to stop, if like it's like get off the sauce. So realistically, top 3 games on Xbox this year, yeah?
Yeah.
In no particular order yet.
Okay.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 2. What are you putting? You're going to try and put Gears in front of...
Resident Evil 2 better than Gears?
Yes, it was. Resident Evil 2 is better than Gears. Tell me why it isn't.
I don't know. I don't think I would be able to do that because I do think they both have a little bit of a muddy bit, and I do think Gears of War's low is a lot lower than Resident Evil.
Definitely. It lasts longer.
But Gears of War has the benefit of multiplayer and a good horde mode and a good escape.
Resident Evil has its charm of its time trial runs.
Oh yes, they were exactly what you wanted, right? Man, imagine if the Resident Evil DLC was actually the alternate like endings for those characters. That would have been so good.
They could have done it. I thought it was.
That would have been so good.
It kind of is. Yeah.
It kind of is, but
it kind of is that it just needed a cutscene. If it needed was one cutscene.
A little bit of
two cutscenes. And a cutscene at the start, cutscene at the end, with a time trial in the middle.
Yeah,
but that's
and
not
some audio in the middle while you're like going through stuff, right?
No, I wouldn't even care about the audio. I could deal without that. So, fine.
Okay.
Number 1, Call of Duty.
Okay, I'm with it.
Number 2, Resident Evil 2. Number 3, Devil May Cry.
Oh, I don't think Resident Evil 2 is better than Devil May Cry.
But I do.
I'll give you Resident Evil at number 3.
No, but
It's not.
I do think
It's
Resident
not
Evil 2
better
is
than
better
Devil
than
May
Devil May Cry. But
It's not.
But
It
I
really
do.
isn't.
But it is.
It's not.
Generally. There
It
is no
generally-
game. There is no game
It generally isn't.
better than Resident Evil 2
Capcom's best game released this year
is Resident Evil 2 remake.
is Devil May Cry 5.
No, but it really isn't though.
Yeah.
Like it isn't. Like Resident Evil 2 is the best survival horror. Resident Evil 2 is the best survival horror game.
Okay. When we make a top 10 game of the year list, survival horror edition, it's number 1.
When we make a top 10 game of the year list of action focused games, then Devil May Cry can be number 2.
You're right. Number 1 would be Sekiro.
Resident Evil action adventure.
It was in the category. You know, now that you say that.
Chris, I'm willing to concede Call of Duty best story,
Okay.
but
Are you viewing it with the goggles of
it's
nostalgia?
it's not even the best story I played this year. Call of Duty.
Would it be Plague's Tale?
Yes.
So Plague's Tale number 1.
No.
Okay. But we're not looking at just stories.
You
We're
can't
looking
just
at whole
look at
packages.
that's what. But I need to talk this out, Chris. We have to talk it out.
Okay, that's fair.
Cool. Fine. Call of Duty number 1.
Okay.
Resident Evil number 2. Devil May Cry number 3.
Okay. Let's make a whole list, and then we'll see if we want to adjust stuff.
We just need a top 5.
Okay. Okay. We'll go with
Call of Duty
COD
number 1.
Resident Evil.
Number 2. Devil May Cry.
Okay.
Sekiro.
Sekiro. Does Gears of War go on the top 5? I think it deserves to be in top 5. I think.
Above a Plague Tale. Yes. Okay. I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that. So now we got to order it then.
Yeah.
COD.
COD number 1.
COD number 1.
We'll keep it there. Okay.
Call of Duty is my Xbox Series game of the year this year.
Number
2.
Let's not even do number 2 right now. Let's just.
Okay. Number 5.
Gears. Okay, there we go. Number 5.
Devil May Cry.
Devil.
It's a great game. It's a great game.
It is a great game.
It's a fantastic game. On my list, it was number 4. But
on my list, it was number 2. If we play the game of averages, it belongs in the 3 spot.
Okay, put it number 3 then.
Okay.
Then you're gonna try and make an argument that Gears of War is better than Resident Evil 2.
Gears of War belongs in the number 4 spot.
Okay, then Resident Evil 2 number 2.
No. Resident Evil 2 belongs in the 5 spot.
No, it don't.
Resident Evil 2 is not better than any of the other games on this list.
Are you mad?
It's not better than any of the other games on this list.
Resident Evil 2 is better than all of the games on this list.
Yes, when you're a little drunk.
I'm not
and
drunk.
You're wearing beer goggles. And
I am not wearing beer goggles.
You're not
These
paying
normal
attention.
glasses. I'm paying attention.
And you're listening to a really good podcast, and you're confusing the quality of your podcast to the quality of the game.
This isn't Unlocked, Crash, alright? The quality is not that good.
I'm not saying this podcast, I'm saying a podcast.
Crash. Read it out to me. Number 1.
Call of Duty.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Devil May Cry.
Number 4.
Gears of War.
Number 5.
Resident Evil.
Okay, number 2.
Sekiro. I don't agree with Sekiro being there. I'll put Resident Evil in number 4. Gears number 5.
Resident Evil is better than Devil May Cry, so it goes at number 2. The fact that Sekiro is gonna go below Devil May Cry is sacrilegious. Sekiro's better than Devil May Cry in the action category.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So we put Devil May Cry at number 4, Sekiro at number 3, Resident Evil 2 at number 2,
Resident Evil's
Call
not
of Duty
2,
number
though.
1.
It's not number 2 because the second half of that game isn't good.
Yes, it is. It just isn't as good as the first half.
Does Sekiro have a drop-off point where it becomes not good?
Does Sekiro?
Yes.
No, I don't think it. No, I agree with you. It doesn't.
Does
But
Devil May
what does?
Cry have
But what? No. Let me rebuttal what you're saying.
Okay.
But what does it have? It has a spike level in difficulty because the game's just difficult all over. Ignore chat, forget them. So you might not even get that far. You can't even get past the first boss, maybe.
But is that the game's fault? No, that's the player's fault. And by design, the second half of Resident Evil is the game's fault.
I'm going to say it, and this is Resident Evil 2 is more accessible to everybody. So when we post this on our website, on myxboxandme.com,
okay, yeah,
and we put out, and we get someone to write this, probably Zyga or whoever it is, we get to write this, or you, someone that can spell, or not me, and we write the My Xbox and Me's top 5 games of the year.
Yeah,
are this, and this. Okay. You want to be the guy that says Sekiro is better than Resident Evil 2.
Okay, so you wanted to say accessibility, right? That was your point.
I'm just one of
so
points.
Wait,
one of my many points. You only heard one point.
So Resident Evil 2's story, would you say it includes the documents? Yes, no.
No, you don't need to read the documents.
You don't need the documents.
No.
So then it's an okay story.
Because
what you don't get isn't a great story. It's a great atmosphere, but it's not a great story.
But Sekiro's story doesn't even touch Resident Evil's story. Doesn't even touch it. There's not even a comparison of the story when it comes to story.
Silence is gold. Sekiro is very silent.
Tell me about it.
There's a bunch of gold in that game.
Jesus. Crash, we're not doing this. Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
No. You can say it. You can do that. You can make it to my Xbox and me. I will not co-sign that. We have to, Crash. I understood this was going to be hard. Yes.
I understood this was going to be hard with you.
Yes.
You need to stop putting you in it. It's not you. This is my Xbox and me.
Absolutely.
Crash, you're trying
to... Wait, no, because this is exactly what you're doing. You're putting you in it.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Because you thought, I'll give up the number 1 spot, and then I can give it the number 2 spot.
No, I think you are right. From an overall level, Call of Duty deserves number 1. It has a great story, a fantastic story mode. Okay. And it has a fantastic multiplayer.
Okay.
So I agree with you. With you. That should be number 1. I can do that. I can say that. All right. Okay. Number 2 has to be Resident Evil 2.
Why?
It has to, because it brings a genre that hasn't been looked after in a while. Yeah. You don't get many. No. Genre. It's a genre. Resident Evil 7 is not even a good survival horror game.
That's your opinion. A lot of people would disagree.
I can't even say
and you know a lot of people would disagree.
That was too much. That was too much even for me. I can't even lie to you all. Look, Crash. Resident Evil 2. We've got the others here. It's done out here. Look. Devil May Cry number 4. Sekiro. Okay. Number 3.
Okay.
Resident Evil number 2. Call of Duty number 1. And then what was number 5?
Gears 4.
What's wrong with that list?
There's nothing wrong with it. Except the Resident Evil's too high. I'll give it to you. I understand where you're coming from. I can understand it. I can accept it.
The only thing I can see there is, if you think I give a crap about what chat's saying, Crash,
I don't care what chat says. Wait, first of all,
them.
Wait, no. Have I brought up?
I'm just saying. I just want to let them know as well. Yeah, I don't give a crap what they're saying.
I understand.
When we post this on the website.
But okay, so you want to make a list for public approval?
No, that's what this podcast is. That's what this podcast is. It's our top 10 list.
Yes.
Yeah, and we can go, this is what we stand by.
Yeah.
This is my top. Boom, smack, crack. But when we come together, me and you, this is the problem with not having the third person on.
Okay, so
you don't have that person.
Absolutely need a third person.
That's the problem. That's the problem when you don't have 3. When you only have 2. So now we have to take it by. We have to be responsible adults, Crash, and go 5 games, 5 fantastic games. Fantastic games.
Absolutely.
Fantastic games. Anyone will be lucky to play these games.
Okay.
They're the best of the best.
Absolutely true. Correct. Not wrong.
We're really arguing between two fantastic games here: Sekiro.
Oh, absolutely.
And Resident Evil 2.
I just want to put this out there. The hard time I'm giving Resident Evil isn't that I don't think it's an amazing game.
I agree with you. I agree, but
It's
you think
not that
it's
it's an
worse than
amazing
Sekiro. The game you even forgot to put on your top 10 list. That's how great the game was.
That's true. Here's the thing. The only reason I remembered Resident Evil was because you would kill me if I forgot it.
Oh, you remember Resident Evil because it's that good that you remembered it.
That's not
You
true.
forgot Sekiro.
You remember when I said I
it's
wanted
that
to...
good, but you're just like, oh.
You remember what I said a while ago? I want to replay Resident Evil because I don't remember why I liked it that much. You're like, "Bun that, you got so many games to beat." Do you remember that?
No,
Probably
I
don't.
remember.
You don't listen, so...
That's a good point. I don't listen. I do listen. I listen when we're on the podcast, Crash. It's my job to listen then. I hear every word you say.
That's true, because you have nothing else to do.
I literally have nothing to distract me. Exactly.
Yeah.
Apart from chat sometimes. And even then, I just like bun them.
True.
Look, this is a great list. This was a great argument, but you lost. All right. Number one, I own the podcast. Number one. Let's make that very clear.
Yeah.
Number one, I own the podcast. Number two, I own the website. So I'll post whatever the hell I want.
I'll make a claim that you are
Oh wow!
forcing your opinion
Wait!
on the whole community of my Xbox and me. Your opinion is fact. It is law.
Haley in the background just went, "Wow."
That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm just saying. If I think we gotta be realistic here.
Okay.
I think. Look, my mum reads this list and she's talking. She's like, "Look, fam, I need to get myself a new game. We gotta suggest Resident Evil over Sekiro for her."
But are we making a list to be objective about what the best game is? Or are we making a list to what would appeal to people the most?
Best game.
Those are two different lists.
Best game.
Best game.
And I think Resident Evil was better than Sekiro.
So then your mom reading the list is irrelevant.
But
Shout out to your mom, no offense to your mom, but her reading that list is irrelevant.
You just disrespect my mum like that. Jesus, I didn't see that one coming. Still, I'm gonna make sure I pay her this clip. She'll beat you up again. She'll beat you up again.
No, please don't.
Realistically,
I'm afraid I'm never going to London now.
Realistically, let's just. Yeah, no, I can't put any other game above that. 1, 2, and 3 is a stop. It's solid.
We really need a third person.
It's solid. Haley, Resident Evil or Sekiro?
That's unfair.
She's like, I'm not.
That's
answering that question.
unfair. That's an unfair question to her.
She's not played either, so it's fine. Do you know what? Fine. I don't want to do this. I'm gonna hear what chat has to say. They're gonna vote on it right now. I'm gonna put a vote in my Twitch chat. We're going to put a vote. But it's hard because they've not even played the game.
That's true. Some of them haven't.
They've not even played the game.
Here's what I'll say.
That's the hard part. We've played it.
Here's what I'll say. I will give it to you for Resident Evil. I think if we were to have another person, they'd probably go Resident Evil.
I think they would as well. Like, if Amy was here right now.
Yeah, I'll give it to Resident Evil. I just want to say that I made the argument for something other than Resident Evil. I don't necessarily agree with Resident Evil being there, but I'm not mad at it, you know? I could see it. I could get it. I understand it, you know?
I think for me, again, it's an overall better game. It's an overall better game for me. Okay. And again, that does come down to style. It comes down to opinion, obviously. I just think that has to be it. It has to be. We're even split on chat, 50-50 on the voting system. Like, Jesus Christ. I give up. You gonna concede?
I'll concede.
Thanks.
Because I don't want this argument to be. I don't want this podcast to be another hour of us arguing.
No, it won't be. So next year, I won't be conceding. Resident Evil 3 is going to be Game of the Year. I've not even played it yet, and I'm calling it. So no, okay. Our top 10s. Let's just quickly go through it for the listeners.
Yeah.
Number 10, Anthem.
Yep.
What's yours?
Anthem
as well. Sorry. Number 9,
Slay the Spire.
Need for Speed. Heat. Number 8,
Kingdom Hearts.
The Walking Dead: The Final Season. Number 7,
Goose Game.
Borderlands 3. Number 6,
MK11.
Gears of War 5. Number 5,
Resident Evil 2 Remake.
A Plague's Tale. Number 4,
Apex Legends.
Devil May Cry 5. Number 3,
Gears of War 5.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 2,
Devil May Cry 5.
Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. And number 1,
Call of Duty.
Resident Evil 2 remake. And my Xbox and me's top 5 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Devil May Cry 5, Gears of War 5. Xbox only put out 3 games this year, we believe, which is Gears Pop, Gears of War 5, and Crackdown 3. So we can't do a top 5 list. So there you
Gears of War is the top one.
Gears of War is the best game Xbox released this year.
Yep.
Crash.
Yeah.
We got there in the end. I'm proud of you for conceding and making a great list. That is it from us, though, Crash. Let's plug, and get ourselves out of it, dude. What you got to plug this week?
Twitch.tv/MCFixer.
You sound defeated.
Patreon.com/MCFixer.
You sound defeated. Sounds like I won.
YouTube.com, my Xbox and me YouTube webpage. We'll be posting the podcast there from now on.
We will. We certainly will. Other content.
My Xbox and me on Twitter.
Yep.
That'll get used more in the new year.
Yep. Instagram.
My Xbox and me Instagram.
Yep.
My Xbox and me Snapchat. My Xbox and me hoodie. My Xbox and me underwear.
Nope.
My Xbox and me custom Xbox coming to a store near you in the year 2065.
Are you gonna make it? Well, we're waiting.
Yep.
Like I say, in the new year we got some big changes coming. Obviously, a website is being made currently. We are going to be moving over as like a separate entity. I want my Xbox to be bigger than me. Like, the idea is now going to be to get more voices on, get more people on, get more guests on, and just keep doing what we do. I think next year, we definitely dive in deeper with like spoiler casts, because people love the Gears of War one we did, and stuff like that. It's going to be bigger than me and Crash. Got some great people joining us very, very soon, so that will be dope as well. But yeah, thank you all for listening throughout the year. Obviously, it's been a wild year, and I'll be honest, 2020, here we come. Another year of Xbox podcasting. We got new consoles. We got Project XCloud. We've got a lot going on. It's going to be a big year for Xbox. And it's going to be a big year for us, hopefully. So, yes. Thank you all for the support. And until next time, I will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Goodbye.